So, welcoming Cannon Otter Studio, Adam Rose and Chuck Kranz, thank you so much for being here. What I was trying to ask you is, from the website, it looks like you kind of kick things off with Cannon Otter Studio at around
hmm
January of 2024. And obviously,
Yeah.
there was a lot of thought that went into getting things up and running before that. So, tell me a little bit about how you got started.
Oh, that's right. And then Adam threw it all on me. So yeah, it would have been. God, what was it? It was the fall harvest of like '93, I think. You and I were both child labor out there in the pickle fields,
I was a
picking
teen by that
pickles.
point.
Well, it's one of us was child labor. The other one was a cruel teenage overseer.
Yep, that's
Uh,
right. Sounds good.
no, we met at a game store in Kansas City.
Nice.
And I walked up to Adam one day, the first day that I met him, and I said, Adam, you jerk. We're best friends now.
Yeah,
So deal with
I
it.
said okay.
And this is where we've been ever since.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. I
awesome.
was at a little book signing, and we saw each other there. And he literally said, "Hey, you and I, we're going to be best friends." And I went, "Okay,"
Here we are.
and
I love
it
it.
was ordained.
Yeah.
It's been that way ever since.
It's the great way to kick things off. I love it.
Yeah.
So, how long have you each been involved in playing role playing games?
Your number's larger than mine, Adam.
It is.
I think so.
I started when I was 19.
How many years ago
Nice.
was that?
Well,
That
we
was
don't have to go into that.
eh, about
What
25 years ago.
what street did you
Nice.
grow up on as a child?
Monroe.
What was your mother's maiden name?
Nope, I'm not asking.
Whoa,
I'm not
whoa,
answering any more than that
whoa.
because I don't use that one. So
Oh, okay.
Ah, it's safe. I
Uh
don't use those questions.
yeah, no, mine my youngest, he was like 1, I think, and he's what, 14 now, so like 13ish years for me. Um
It's amazing.
and it was one of those days where my wife and I were lounging around the house staring spitefully at our baby, and I'm like, "You know what? I love playing the Sega Genesis Shadowrun game. Um, let's go to our local Hastings because I know they've got Shadowrun books."
Yeah.
And we got there, and they did not have any Shadowrun books. Instead, they had a D&D starter kit, and I'm just like, well, I have to soothe myself through retail somehow. So I bought that, went home, read it, and called my friends up. And I said, guess what, you nerds? This is our thing now. And I
Nice.
bullied them all into it and took it from there.
That's awesome.
yeah, for me, I grew up in a household where playing D&D was satanic, so we didn't get to do that. And because I was a child of the '80s, so yeah,
Hmm.
that totally was a thing. And then when I was about 19 or so, somebody invited me over to play Shadowrun, as a matter of fact.
Oh,
And
Shadowrun, nice.
I had an orc street shaman, and um, I got to play that for a little bit, and then we went into Vampire the Masquerade. So I kind of skipped D&D until later, and then
Yeah.
started seriously playing D&D at around fourth edition, and then got to play second edition and third edition, and um, I have played fifth edition for a little bit, but
Yeah, you travel back
um,
through time there, Adam.
Yeah,
I
that's
did, I
that
did.
was time. Yeah, backwards time traveling. That's it's cool though.
Hmm.
Uh,
Yeah,
no,
Yeah.
that's awesome. I started in college. A couple buddies started playing. It was Final Fantasy role playing. I had never played Final
oh wow,
Fantasy. I'd never played a role playing game, but I'm like, what the heck? I'll play a wizard and blow
yeah,
things up. Uh,
try it out.
I've I've had a reputation for being a pyromaniac ever since that first character.
It's
But
the only way to
Nice,
play.
nice, yeah.
That's how it goes sometimes. So, Chuck, if I'm not mistaken, you kind of wrote the two main games of Cannon Otter with Teenage Odyssey and Skin City. And
Mm-hmm.
so you've been role playing for 12 or 13 years, but you've been writing material for role playing games for like half that time. So that's a pretty good record.
Um, has it
If
been
the
that
internet's to
doesn't
be
that math
believed.
doesn't math. Uh,
That looks like you've
I
been
have no
doing a
idea.
lot of writing over the years, but
I guess so. Yeah. If you trust the internet, then yes. Um,
Ah,
yeah, we'll go with that.
nice.
Uh,
So,
I don't
so,
remember what your question was, but sure.
so what's your inspiration behind kind of getting started with Teenage Odyssey, which I think was the first game you did here?
Um, it was the adventure that's in Teenage Odyssey. The
Mm,
adventure is called Bad Times at Pazuzu Pizza. And it was an idea that I had years and years ago. And I wanted to write a short story on it. And I would get started and I would get sidetracked. And things weren't coming together the way I wanted to. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just run this as an adventure. So I started scouring around for a system that I could run it in. Um, and the systems I found did okay, but I'm like, I want something a little goofier. I want something a little quicker. And so I'm like, you know what? Let's write the adventure and then let's write a system to go along with the adventure. And so that's
nice.
how Teenage Odyssey came to be. I based it off of the Mark of the Odd system. And
Yeah,
yeah, it did what I wanted it to.
that's super cool. Yeah, I I had not encountered Mark of the Odd actually until I looked at Teenage Odyssey,
Hmm.
but it looks like there's a ton of really cool
Yeah.
material that's been based on it, and it's a really straightforward action-oriented system. So,
It is. It's a really my favorite part about Mark of the Odd games is the character creation, where you roll your stats and then you reference tables to figure out what the character is that goes with those
mhm,
stats. It's really fun. Combat's nice because it's not a roll to hit; you just
mhm.
roll damage.
Yeah, which
Um,
is super cool.
yeah, it's really great. If you want to look at Mark of the Odd stuff, I cannot recommend Mouse Ritter enough. It is a great little game based off of Mark of the Odd as well.
Very cool. Very cool. So I have the rule book here for Teenage Odyssey just to kind of show off. Lo- love the art. It really sets the tone. For those
Yeah.
following along, Teenage Odyssey is really, what is it like, growing up in the 90s, like
It's
off on your own?
if yeah, if you want to kind of anytime 70s, 80s,
Yeah.
90s, anytime before cell phones, really encaptures it. Where you would get home from school, you'd toss off your backpack, you would hop on your Huffy, and you don't have to go back home until the street lights turn back on. And that's kind of the vibe I was going for.
It's the Gen X experience right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my childhood. So for big time. So the character creation looks like it pretty well follows the basic stuff from the core system. Um, I think now this is where I'm not super familiar with Mark of the Odd. So is luck something that you added, introduced, or is that
Yeah.
part of the core system?
No, that's something I threw in there.
Perfect. So tell us a little bit about how luck works within the system, because it looks like you used that same
Yeah.
concept a little bit in Skin City also.
I did, yes. I totally recycled my own work to make it a little bit easier the second time through. But in Teenage Odyssey, the way that luck works is it is a D6 roll, and it's any time when it's just up to chance if you succeed or not. And so you roll a D6 and you got to hit at or under your luck score. If you do, you succeed. If you don't, you fail that luck test.
Okay.
The other thing that you can leverage luck for is when you roll damage, you can reduce your luck by one. to explode that die. So it goes to your max value, and then you get to roll it again.
Nice.
So you get more damage. Adam, what else did I do with luck in this? I don't remember anymore.
A lot of times there's just a test that's called to test your luck. Like if a stat test really doesn't make sense for it, so it's like, hey, do I find this object in here? Like, is
Mhm.
there a shotgun in this store? Roll a luck test, and then you'll see if
You
you
did that
do
once,
find
didn't
a
you?
shotgun. I didn't, but I was playing in that game where somebody said that, hey, would this old barber have a shotgun in his barber shop?
Yes. We rolled luck, and
Nice.
it was yes.
Yeah.
What else? So I think you can burn luck for a reroll. I don't remember.
Yes, you could do that
Yes.
too.
The problem is in Teenage Odyssey, I did, the base, and then in Skin
Yeah.
City, I expanded on it. I think it
Nice.
was Adam's idea to throw in more ways to build your luck back up.
Oh, is that if you fail a luck test?
Yeah, and it goes up.
Ah,
Yeah.
fail a luck test and increase your luck. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Kind of
And
works out over time.
Yeah.
So one of the
Yeah.
things that I saw when I was reading through the adventure that I really liked is how you go about creating enemies as the game master, right? Like
Yeah.
the concept of
Yeah.
having uh, a template at a specific kind of difficulty class that
Yeah.
you can customize quickly.
Yeah, I was way too lazy to make a full bestiary, so I just made rules on how to make monsters. But yeah, it's you pick your difficulty tier. It gives you your stats, and then you just got to pick some items for it, and however many tags is appropriate at that level.
I really like the way that comes together because it makes it so easy as a game master to pull in whatever I'm interested in. So yeah, and this is a difference in at least for me how I've changed over the years as both a player and a game master. Once upon a time, I'm like, if you don't give me the list of creatures, then I have no idea what to put in my game. But now I'm like, that's freaking awesome. I want to come up with whatever kind of creature I can
Mhm.
imagine, throw it together, and I already know that it's in the game and balanced in a way that makes sense.
Yeah,
And I like
I
being able to do rapid creativity like that.
I would always just find something close and then modify it.
Yeah, done a lot of that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I would normally want to see some creatures in there in a bestiary, at least like a sampling of them, so I can get an idea for how they were when they were created. And then, yeah, if a system tells you how to create creatures, I'm all about it too.
Adam
one
got
of the
his way on Skin City.
Yeah,
yeah, I can pull that up in a minute because I thought that was pretty cool. So one of the things that I did is, this is a Lurlink stream, so I will pull up Lurlink for just a second because I went ahead and created a starter campaign for Teenage Odyssey right here in Lurlink. Got things set up, and I created under the villains. I created a template for what the enemies look like, and this follows the structure of the templates right here in the rule book. And I created a little table here in the description to help you figure out based upon your difficulty level what you're going to change the numbers to, and makes it really easy now if I want to create something new. I also did one other thing, which is the tags. We have these enemy tags, and I only put a few of them in here, but the idea is that you can very easily create something. So I can create a new creature or a new villain just by saying, switch to edit mode here. I can say, hey, give me a new villain based upon this template. And then I can call it whatever I want. Call it an acid monster. I'm going to do just a regular threat. So make a note to myself, this is just a regular threat, and then I can save this. And now, so I did this earlier with this other one, so I can then grab a couple tags. So this is going to be acidic with bug eyes. Boom. Now I've got my tags. I've got all the details, and I've just created a monster, and that's how long it took to do it now that I've got the template in there.
Very cool.
So I thought, as soon as I saw that, I'm like, I know exactly how I can set this up to save some time right there in the
There you
tool.
go.
So it
That's
turns out to be a
impressive.
really good fit for this. So I love this concept of the system. I like kind of the way that you've designed the system and the rules to make it easy to kind of come up with adventures and off the cuff, but also have enough material in here to get you started.
Yeah. It's one could think that I may have intended for it to be that way with how nice it came out.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I like the concept of those very action oriented. Let's get something up and running quick. So have you done a lot of, or have you seen a lot of like long running campaigns, Teenage Odyssey? Or-
No.
Oh, not really.
it lends itself
Um,
so well to like doing a
Yeah.
couple short adventures in.
It was really my intention for it to be a couple of sessions. I
Yeah.
did include some rules on advancement, but it's a great one shot game. I would not probably recommend it if you're wanting to do something long term.
Honestly, I feel like there's a really big space in the industry right now for games like this that are approachable, rules light enough that somebody that's maybe new to role playing or new to being a GM can pick it up and run with it and have fun with it and not have to have a huge commitment. Oh no, I've got to run this game for the next 5 years, right? Like
Yeah.
one of my gaming groups, we literally just wrapped up a 5 year long Pathfinder campaign. And that's fun and that's great, but that's not for everybody. And you certainly don't want that level of commitment all the time. You want to be able to get together for a weekend and
Yeah.
play. If you can play role playing games with the same level of commitment that it takes to pull out a board game, I think that's a really great spot to be in and have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Sweet. So up next, we have, I'll pull up, there's the cover art for Skin City. I'll show off on stream there. Survival Manual for the Operation of the Glorious Vertebrous Major. I love everything about the way this is written, from the perspective it's written from, just the whole concept. Tell me about your inspiration behind how you came up with Skin City and what you think people should really get
So
out of it.
it originated from a campaign we did on stream a handful of years ago, and it was God, I don't even remember what system. It might have been we were using the Forbidden Land system, playing in the old second edition D&D settings, Thunder Rift.
Hmm.
And we did like a campaign and like, okay, that's really fun. Let's make it weird. So there's this card game. I think it's called the Quiet Year or something along those lines. And you use it to kind of just build a setting, just real random ad hoc. And so we did that. And as we were doing it, someone came up with the idea like, oh, this section of the map, it's all skeletons. And then my buddy Jeff, who runs a show called Adventures in Lollygagging, he came up with the idea like, yeah, and the skeletons are all communist, and you can't get back there because they're all behind the bone curtain instead of the red curtain.
Uh-huh.
And so then I'm like, that's great. And we were just coming off of playing an Alien game, I think, where you can be a secret synth. So I'm like, wouldn't that be fantastic if there were also secret skeletons? Um, so it kind of all mushed together to the idea of you're playing this adventure, but you're secretly a skeleton. And um, if you take enough damage, your meat suit's destroyed. And then so from there, it just kind of turned um, into Skin City. You know, I took that idea, and Adam's got a knack for the post-apocalyptic.
Mhm.
So I'm like, let's do something where Adam and I can meet in the middle.
Yeah.
And yeah, that became Post-Apocalypse Skin City, where you are a skeleton in disguise infiltrating the last bastion of humanity. Um, yeah,
Wearing your skin suit.
wearing your skin suit.
Mark V.
It's the Mark
It,
V skin suit. Don't get me wrong there.
oh, right. It's only the very latest and greatest.
It is. It is. It in the book. There's a whole section about the previous versions of the skin suits.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
I really
Adam
appreciate
was a
that
big
level of
fan of
detail
the.
in it. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, my one of my favorite points in there is how it goes over. The first mark was just a skin from a
Just people
volunteer.
skin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
skin
a
from a volunteer.
volunteer. Yeah,
And then the second one we stuffed it full of styrofoam, but that looked kind of lumpy. And then the
and it
third one,
squeaks.
then the third one we improved on it because it no longer had the squeak of the Mark II. And for some reason, when I read that, it made me laugh a whole lot.
It's it's the little details like that that honestly make it so much easier to get into character and to really kind of get into the vibe of a game. Uh, and it's so easy to miss things like that. But oh,
Yeah.
Mark V skin suit. I'm reminded of what is it from Men in Black, the Edgar suit, the
Yeah,
alien
yeah,
walking around in
that's
the
it.
Edgar suit, right? Like
Think about the Edgar suit. That's kind of the Mark One, where it's just
okay.
someone put on the skin of a dead dude. Yeah. Yeah.
So this becomes more and more of a thing over time. And is there a specific end goal for the skeletons, or is this really dependent upon the specific campaign that you're running?
So one thing you really gotta to acknowledge is the fact that you are playing as operatives in the service of the glorious Vertebrous Major. And Vertebrous Major's motives are unknowable to the common skeletal citizen such as us. Um, so that's not a question anyone can answer. What's the purpose? We don't know, but we know that this is what Vertebrous Major wants.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice.
So
I
in order to find out,
yeah.
some of what Vertebrous Major wants, Chuck added a section to where you can come up with an entire mission by
Mhm.
rolling on tables, and it tells you what your mission is, and then you have further tables to roll
Yeah.
on to expand upon what your
So many
mission is,
tables.
and then where you infiltrate the city in, where the mission actually takes place, because you can't start in where the mission takes place. You got to journey to it, right?
Mhm.
Of
So
course.
which district you start in, which district the mission takes place in, the obligatory twist
Oh, yeah, gotta have a
Right.
that
twist.
happens in there, product placement.
Yeah.
Got to make sure that you have a certain product in there, and you roll on a
Mhm.
table for that, and then a random item that you have to make sure finds its way into the adventure.
Yeah.
I've just pulled up the map of Skin City from the book to kind of showcase how this all fits together. But yeah, you have to. Each of these areas has been detailed out within the rule book, and the tables are down below here.
So, bonus points here for
Mhm.
you. Um, can you identify what real world place is turned into Skin City in the apocalypse?
I was actually wondering if there was one. Coronado, Shawnee, Oak Park, Sugar Creek, Hampton. Oh man, I'm gonna go. Is this Chicago?
No,
No. Okay.
it's Kansas City.
Oh.
Skin City is Kansas City. And so
Right.
residents of Kansas City, in the descriptions of all of these locations in the book, you will find things that exist in current day Kansas City.
Oh, that's amazing. So yeah, extra bonus Easter eggs for anyone from KC.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yep.
Yeah, that's funny. I've been to Kansas City many times. A lot of tech folks there. So I know a lot of people from
Mhm.
the area, but did not think about it. Oh, that's really
Yeah.
cool.
I visit KC pretty frequently. Adam's never been though. He doesn't like
No.
that big city life.
No. No.
Whenever we go, I have to drive him through there because all of the interstates and everything confuse him.
It's true.
So it was not the big city game store that y'all met at.
It's in there.
It's in
Oh,
there.
okay. Very
Yeah,
nice.
we
It's in
called
there.
out by name
Yeah.
in Overland Park.
Very nice. So you've got the skeleton hobby and ability chart here. That's just one example of some of the charts
Yeah.
that are available to you.
And a good thing to point out on this is during character creation, like all Mark of the Odd, you roll your stats out. And then your stats determine like your class or whatever it is. In Skin City, there's kind of two different classes that you get to play. While your skin suit is on, you have an occupation such as used car salesman, mime, boxer, politician, things like that. But when your skin suit is destroyed, you no longer have that, and then you
Mhm.
fall back on your skeletal hobby, such as phalange finger, where you like throwing your finger bones, or um, an unboned lever, where you work as the foil to make sure Vertebrous Major stays on course, and you just don't believe things.
Uh-huh.
What else is there, Adam?
Oh, there's a bird cosplayer.
Oh yeah, that's a huge hobby for
Voila.
the skeletons, cosplaying as birds.
Yep.
There it is. There it is.
Very nice. I love it. So much creativity went into this, building out a game that is just not like anything else that I've seen.
Yeah.
It's truly unique.
It's weird as shit.
So a lot of this just kind of came fully formed from your brain, or a lot of this came from, like, you mentioned it got the start from collaboration with other people as you were kind of playing through other games. So did it kind of form organically over time?
I think so. I've slept a few times since then, so I don't remember all of the details on how I came up with this. But it was, what I couldn't come up with. It was definitely a group effort.
Nice.
Adam helped out a lot, and I've got my crew over at Defenders of Cobalt, and I bully them into giving me information quite frequently, so they helped out.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah.
I really wanted a bestiary, and so Chuck said, "Okay, you're going to make it."
Adam wanted a bestiary.
Nice.
So he
I
made
made
me
the
do it.
rules on making character or making enemies, so
Yeah.
that's in Skin City as well.
Right.
And then also there is a bestiary that Adam made.
Yeah, I had help.
There's the creating enemies. Once again, it's a little bit more involved than it is for
It is.
the other game, but then we get into bestiary. It's down here somewhere, I promise. I saw it. I read it. There we go. Foes of Vertebrous Major. Cat, chicken,
Mm-hmm.
crocodile,
Very
a
dangerous.
goose. Goose is an enemy of basically everybody. Let's be
It
honest.
is.
Goose is dangerous.
Yeah.
They know of they're heretics actually.
They
They
are. It
they
says so right
know
there.
yeah. So they
Nice.
know that we are skeletons. They can tell just immediately.
Yeah.
They really are dangerous. Okay, got it. Loot
Yeah,
kitchen knife
peace was
clenching
never an
feathers.
option.
Right?
Never was. Not with geese.
And all the beasts. Then you have a cleric in the corner, so you've got security guard, like all kinds of
Yeah.
different things. Firefighters.
Adam's. Yeah, he's got it broken up in categories. So there's beasts, there's humans.
Oh, I'm
I don't remember.
I feel so silly, but I'm really proud of the fact that we made a cleric and we made it an office worker because they do clerical work.
Clerical.
Clerical.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the best.
And
Corporate
then
drones. Nice.
in the bestiary, there's a section called Big Bads.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the enemies that are used specifically in the session generation tables. So that way,
Right.
corrupt politician.
Yep, mutants, animal mutants. The corrupt politician.
Now where Teenage Odyssey, our artist on that was Marie Inger. She the thing where I first encountered Marie Inger, she's got a game out called Casket Lands, which is
Yeah.
really cool
okay.
Western vibed game. And Adam knew Marie and managed to persuade her to lend her considerable talent when it comes to art into our real weird dumb little book. So that was awesome. And then for Skin City, it was a war between Adam and I of Adam's got good ideas and I've got weird ideas. And so we battled back and forth for quite a while. And what we came up with is we got a Jordan with Cannon Otter Studio. He did most of the doodle art, like the bird cosplayer, the cover image. That's all Jordan with the studio. And then the other art that you see there is all Creative Commons art that I got from the University of Chicago, I believe. They've got a really great Creative Commons
nice.
Library.
That's very cool.
Yeah.
Love it. It's a great way to illustrate it.
So yeah,
Makes
I'm like,
sense.
I just want to use. Yeah, my first pitch for art was I want to go get an old copy of like Grey's Anatomy from like the 1800s or whatever, and just steal all the art out of that. And Adam's like, we need to have someone who can actually sculpt your stupid ideas into something tangible.
Yep. Some original art. Doesn't have to be all, but yeah.
Yeah.
Just wanted to get some in there.
No, that makes perfect sense.
It turned out great, yeah.
Oh,
yeah, Jordan's
absolutely.
hilarious. His illustrations are just absolutely they crack me up.
And the art style is consistent enough. Like I have a pretty good idea which ones are his, versus which ones are Creative Commons. But like this is Reverse Necromancer, hysterical.
Yeah, the one on the left with the fake beard, the slippers, the plunger for his staff. I mean,
yes,
it's just it's so good.
Hey, it's really important to capture that weird vibe, and art makes such a big part of that. And the descriptions are fantastic, but you kind of need that punch. You cannot miss the fake beard and the plunger in this image.
Yeah.
Right. Right. And another one that really showcases his work. I love the potato monstrosity. if you see that one is just a great image.
And it's there it is. It's
Nice.
great because Potato Monstrosity was one of those ones where I had a very specific image in my mind,
Mhm.
and I forgot to tell Adam and Jordan about it.
Uh-oh.
And then they gave me this, and I'm like, you know what? That looks fantastic. I'm not gonna bitch. Like, that's great. Yeah.
Nice. Enemy tags. Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, so this rule book ended up being just a little bit longer than the other one
It
at
is.
coming in 175 pages. Like, and there's so much you have so much world building that exists in here. So you have this fairly significant bestiary. You have the location
And
guide and the skin city and the
so
backgrounds and everything.
an important part about the bestiary too is what we have in the book is like half of what Adam made.
Oh, wow.
Because Adam came up with a bunch more, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah, we were running out of uh Bert, who does our editing and layout.
Mhm.
We kept piling pages on him for the bestiary, and he's like, I'm gonna start charging you more money. And we both said we're really poor. So we had to set on
Mm-hmm.
half of the bestiary,
That
and
makes sense.
then along with each district, I also have a very healthy sized random encounter table for each district.
Mhm.
And both of those had to get cut so we could get the book down to size. So
Makes sense.
in the future, if Adam remembers, because I certainly won't, we may have some supplements.
Nice. That'd be fun. So both of these games you launched via Kickstarter, and you launched them.
Mhm.
Did both of those Kickstarters in the same year, which is impressive.
Did we?
Yeah, we did.
Oh, wow. Why would we do that to ourselves?
That was going to be
There's
my
a
question to
reason.
you, actually.
There's a reason we didn't do that this year.
Uh-huh.
That, and I'm not done yet. So
Yeah, it's okay.
So you are working on something new. Is there anything you can tell us about it, or is it going to be like this top secret thing
well,
for a while?
we've got many irons in the fire.
Sure.
I can only talk about my next project because Adam hasn't sworn me to secrecy on it.
Nope, I haven't.
But Adam's also got several irons in the fire. And whereas mine are weird little stupid books, Adam's are much more robust and well designed. But my next project that I can speak on, I am moving away from Mark of the Odd. I've got my own system that I've kind of
Oh,
sort
wow.
of taped together, and it's called Mall Rats. Set in the exact same world as Skin City. In fact, location wise, it's like an hour's drive outside of Skin City, where
Okay.
you play as intelligent rats in a fully automated shopping mall that is still in great shape from the end of the world. And you play as these intelligent rats, um, surviving and exploring their mall. Um, and to tie it all together is, God, did I come up with a name for that book yet besides Mall Rats, Adam?
No, it's Mallrats.
No, I think there was more I added to it. Give me a moment here, because I gotta remember how to read so I can find this thing. Where's it at?
Oh, you're talking about the tagline? Yeah, I can't
Oh yeah,
remember.
Like I write
Sorry.
things down so I don't have to remember. So
yeah. Well, and then there it is. Mall Rats, a study of abnormal fauna in the name of the great Vertebrous Major. A tiny but fierce tabletop role playing game. So you're playing as these rats, and it's from the perspective of the same scribe who wrote Skin City,
Nice.
studying these rats like National Geographic style
Hmm.
as they exist in this mall.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's my next project.
In your
And
own
that's
system. Oh, that's yeah,
yeah.
that's a
I
nice project.
essentially I've played enough systems that I know what I like and I know
Yeah,
what drives me up the wall.
sure.
So I think I've got a good system. It's a D20 based system. And unlike Skin City and Teenage Odyssey, which are kind of aimed towards one shots, this will be a campaign game where
Okay.
to really get the best out of the system, you need to level up. It's designed for multi-classing. That way, it's like very skill tree style. Think like
Sure.
Diablo, where
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
you get to combine aspects of all these different classes to make the little menace that you want to play.
Do you find that it's more work coming up with the storytelling and world building and creative aspects, or is it harder to come up with the system components?
Oh, I have no idea. Um, I I guess for right now, like for mall rats, I got the core rules hammered out real quick and easy. Like the core bit's done, and at this moment, it's a playable game. The things that are slowing me down right now are um, coming up because you've got a shopping mall. You got to know what every store is inside the shopping mall. So building in every mall or every shop, and then a bestiary.
Mm.
Because I haven't even started on that. Bestiaries are dumb to write. I don't like it. I'm just going to throw it at Adam again.
Oh no, please don't.
Uh, so you've done
uh,
two successful Kickstarters. Who is your marketing whiz over there?
Both of us.
okay.
Nice.
Yeah. We we did successful Kickstarters, that's true, but marketing is not our strongest points. So we got some
No.
advice from some other people in the industry, and they gave us some very poignant critiques on what we did wrong,
They
and we
said you
learned
guys are
from it.
dumb. Do better. Here's how.
And
Yeah,
that here's how is doing a lot of work. That's super important.
yeah, yeah. So, we and what was funny is like our first one we did pretty well on, and in our second one we did worse at first.
Mm.
It was rougher. I mean, sophomore albums are always they never do quite as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Yeah. And so, about halfway through the campaign, we took that advice that somebody gave us, and then we used it on the Kickstarter, and then we started seeing numbers go up after that.
Oh, that's
So,
amazing.
yeah. So, yay.
Yay.
Yeah. It's always good when you can get somebody that's willing to actually tell you what to do and what to fix. I can handle the insults. Just give me the give me the wisdom.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah.
very
But we
cool.
did it
So, yeah, I no,
twice.
absolutely. Yeah, you did it twice. You published two games. You did it in pretty close succession. Honestly, that's impressive
Accidentally.
turnaround, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, do you do a lot of your like, obviously you both are involved in other projects. You spend a lot of your time working on the stuff for Cannon Otter, a lot of your time doing other different types of things, or
It is mainly Cannon Otter for me. Um, got a lot of stuff going on in the background, trying to make some games with that I've been working on, but the games I want to make are intensely complicated, so they take a lot longer to make.
Makes sense.
My
And
games are simple and silly.
yeah, like one of them is post-apocalyptic, as Chuck says I love to do. Um, Retro-futuristic 1980s.
Wow. Okay.
So the world that the 1980s imagined actually happened. So the technology from the Terminator and Alien and
Yep.
Predator and all those mid 80s movies actually occurred, and then that all got blown up. And so you fast forward 50 years after that, and that's when you're playing.
Nice. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
So yeah,
But
the idea of
Wood.
liquid crystal displays,
Mhm.
for television screens and all that doesn't happen, but laser swords or um, chainsaw swords or stuff like that, that's totally a thing. Um,
Ah,
and then a lot of the cars are from the like 70s and 80s because of the influence that I really love from Mad Max.
mhm.
It's just some really great movies, particularly the Road Warrior.
Yeah, those were solid. I grew up with those.
Hmm. Yeah.
Nice.
So that's a lot of the stuff that I work on. There's a couple other projects too, but keeping those a little bit more quiet
Yeah, that
for
makes sense.
now.
Mhm.
And yeah, Chuck,
What?
how about yourself?
Oh, what am I? Oh, the time division thing. That's the question we're
Yeah.
on. Okay. Um, well, yeah, my time is split uh kind of into. So I've got my own channel, Defenders of Cobalt. We're an actual
Mhm.
play channel. So a chunk of my time goes there. And then also Cannon Otter Studio with my games,
Nice.
and then helping Adam out with his stuff too. There's a chunk of my time there. Um, and then the kind of the third aspect coming at it is um yeah, just being real lazy. So those are the three that really eat my free time up with. Like, am I doing stuff for the stream? Am I doing stuff for my book? Or am I
Right.
just not doing anything? Yeah.
I hear that. So, one of the things that I'm always interested in is what is your gaming experience like right now? So, I talk to some people, they're like, I don't have a steady gaming group, or maybe we meet every month, or we meet 3 times a week, or anywhere in between. I have a couple different groups, and mostly I have, I think, an average of one game every week. I do about 5 or 6. I'm in about four concurrent games. Some of them are bi-weekly, some of them are monthly. So that's not bad, but like how much are you actually getting to play games outside of the stream? Are you doing a lot of like other types of
Oh,
things?
outside of the stream, that's a different answer.
Well, but inside and out, like I don't know how many games you're doing on
Okay.
the stream because I know.
So yeah, so right now we have slimmed down our streaming schedule a lot. So we've got 2
Okay.
games a week. Wednesday nights and Friday nights. We used to do significantly more, but as I've been getting older, I've been getting more burnt out.
Uh-huh.
Like every Monday, Adam and I we were playing over in our buddy Jeff Adventure and Lollygagging. But it's one of those things like Jeff, I really want to play, but I'm just so tired anymore. So Um, but Jeff's fantastic. He understands, and eventually I'll recuperate and play some more. But yeah, right now, 2 games a week.
Nice.
Um, and right now, usually I run on Fridays and someone else runs on Wednesdays. Right now, I'm not doing any running, which is amazing. First time in like a decade. Because yeah, the my defenders crew, we are overly motivated people sometimes. And
Yeah.
so my buddy Joe over there, he's making his own games as well. So currently we're play testing those on Fridays,
Oh, nice.
which is a lot of fun.
It's cool that you can help out with the playtesting though. That's
Yeah.
so hard.
Yeah.
Getting good playtesting.
It's yeah, it's one of those great exchanges of free labor where I rope them into mine, they rope me into theirs.
Totally.
Adam, I don't even know if Adam plays role-playing games anymore. What has it been, like 6 years, man?
Yeah, it's been a long time since I've played a role-playing game. It's been so long since Friday night.
That was like at least a couple days ago, man.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I play about 2 to 3 a week, give or take. And those are usually working on something. You know, it's play testing our current systems that we're working on.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About
Yeah,
once a month or so, I get to play a board game with somebody, and that one is just for fun. And so, yeah, that one I look forward to a lot.
The more time I spend like living in the world of RPGs, the more board games are the relaxing alternative.
Mm-hmm.
Which is like, on the one hand, it's kind of disappointing because I love role playing. I love the games. I love trying new systems and doing different things. But every once in a while, it's like I need to play a game that doesn't feel like it's in any way, shape, or form related to work.
That's fair.
I know that feeling.
Yeah.
It's the danger of turning your hobbies into businesses. But on the other hand, it's one way of getting things out into the world and getting them in front of people and getting to share those experiences with people, which is also really rewarding. So, what's the motivation that keeps you doing this?
Stubbornness.
Hear that?
Yeah. For me, just pure ego. I need to keep making shitty little games until one of them really catches on, and then I get super famous in the tabletop industry, and then I can pretend like, you know, Adam and I, we don't know anyone from our past who used to play with us. We'd be like, who is this peasant? That's it for me. We'll wear matching tracksuits.
Nice.
We'll be so cool.
That's what we're doing now. Okay.
Once we're big and like tabletop famous, like some of those big streams, they're going to call up on us, and we're going to walk in with a tracksuit, give them a double bird, and backflip out.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you're going to learn how to do backflips now too. Okay.
Theoretically. It's a great idea. The physics of it. I'm real tall, so that ground's a long ways away.
Yeah, I'm 6'3". I don't do backflips, so sorry.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. 6'4", and like when you can relate. When you trip and you fall, it's like a 5-minute fall with how tall we are.
You know
takes
it's
a while to
happening
get
long
down
before
there.
you feel it. Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've gotten to this point in my life where I'm trying to pretend that I'm athletic, and that I don't think it's going to end well, but it's fine.
I'm not going to pretend. I'm not. I'll just talk a big game, and that's it.
I'll wear a tracksuit though. I don't care.
There you go. See?
Right?
It's going to be great, okay. Adam.
All right. I guess I'm good. I guess
I have no shame. It's not a problem. We got this.
You get the green, like velour Adidas tracksuit.
Okay.
And I'll get the purple one.
Nice.
And yeah, we're gonna walk into places, give them the birds, and backflip out. Life goals right there.
That's exactly what I want to be doing with my life. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking at the chat, and apparently backflips just aren't a thing for our viewers tonight. So I don't blame any of you. I don't blame any of you.
Yeah,
Don't do it.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
board
fair.
games are great because you spend the whole time setting up to play, and then you just wind up eating and hanging out instead. You know what? Uh, I can't tell you how many
Sometimes.
times I've sat down to play a role-playing game, and we've all created characters, and then ate dinner, hung out, and left, and nobody remembers to bring the character sheet next time, and so we do this whole thing again. It's fine. It's fine. It's an excuse to hang
We
out with people.
Yeah, we used to have that problem where we would get together to play and it would just turn into watching YouTube videos and eating and being dumb. And then
Yep.
one day I decided, you know what? When we get together, I'm just going to be a total ass to everyone unless they're actively focused on getting to the game. And it's been great when we get together in person for those rare occasions to play. That's what we do. Uh, Nerf guns, great enforcer.
Nice. Probably a little bit safer than water guns, but
With character sheets and laptops, absolutely. Yeah.
that's kind of where my head was on that one. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, it has been really great talking to the two of you tonight. Is there
Yeah,
We are
anything
pretty
else that you
great.
wanted to share with everyone this evening?
Adam.
No, nothing in particular. Just check out these two games. We would love it if you took a look.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
20 drop some links. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate it. Yeah, absolutely. Check out Cannon Otter. Look at Teenage Odyssey. Check out Skin City. I honestly really want to play Skin City now. I think that I love everything. I like the whole like infiltration, pretending to be somebody you're not type of concept anyway. If you've ever played something like Honey Heist, where you put your
Yeah.
hat on or off and you're either a bear or a person, you've got all those kind of elements, but it's got a really deep lore to the world, to the city. I'm really excited. I would like to play it at some point. So
You should do that.
I absolutely might even do it on. You know what? I have run so many games on stream this year. I never thought that's a thing that I was going to do. I never thought of myself as a streamer, but when you are in this industry and you want to show off stuff, it's a thing you have to do, and you got to meet people and hang out with people and show off cool games, and so it's kind of turned into a thing. So I will do that at some point. I think it's a really fantastic game. I love the writing. I love the humor that's in everything. So definitely
Thank
encourage
you.
everyone to check it out. And I will vouch that this is absolutely compatible with LoreLink if you're interested in pulling one of these games and setting up your adventure in LoreLink. I know LoreLink, generally people think of it a little bit more for a long running campaign type of system, but I actually find that it works pretty well with this more quick short form type of game as well, because if you do the work up front, if you're gonna play one Skin City game ever in your life, it probably doesn't make a lot of sense to set it up in LoreLink. But if you're going to run this several weekends a year, then having the mechanism to have your monsters out there and have your locations set up, all you have to do at that point is create a session, add some players, and go. And then a lot of the details are there and ready for you. So definitely encourage people to check that out. Absolutely use LoreLink if you want to. Go check out Skin City. You can purchase on drive-through.
Drive
Yes,
through
we can.
or
Oh,
store.cannonotter.com.
store.cannonotter. Yeah, go to store.cannonotter.com. Absolutely. Store.cannonotter.com. Buy them there. Um, Chuck, Adam, thank you so much
Yes.
for being here with us tonight on
Yes,
the LoreLink
thank
stream.
you.
It's been
Thanks
really
for
wonderful to
having
meet
us.
you.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. And everyone, have a great night and play some games.